talking before about the kind of fact from the outside, we often don't know what's going on in the player's personal life. That's the thing. Where do you think football is with the understanding of mental health and the importance of having psychologists and people who get that side of the game?
I think we do understand it. It's just that we ignore it. But you know what? Who in their life doesn't have something that's stressful? I mean, I've lived 58 years now, and there's never been a time in my life where everything is perfect. You know, I lost my father 3 years ago, and he should have been here for the journey. So I've got to deal with that. Everyone, and that's just me talking personally, but everybody in this room at this moment, you could be, one part of your life could be flying, but there'll be something. It could be a family member, it could be a health issue, it could be a financial issue. There's always something, and footballers are not immune from that. And sometimes I think they fall into the trap of thinking they are, and they're not, because just because you have, you know, money or you're really good at something, life will still find a way to keep a balance in that. There'll be stuff in there that's going to be stressful, it's going to be upsetting, and you've got to just deal with that, you know.
But do you think enough people in the game understand that as well as you do?
I don't think anyone doesn't understand. I think, like I said, I just think we choose to ignore it. We just at times think, well, he's a footballer, he's got money, what's he got to complain about? You know, well, of course he does. But then the footballer has to also understand that, you know, his life is not, you know, perfection doesn't exist in life. There are, you know, plenty of people, you know, who have what we would assume to have all the advantages in life, who are fairly unhappy, you know. So that's not, that doesn't exist. So it's just a matter of, I think for the most part, people are, you know, understand that that's the case and empathetic. Sometimes we just choose to ignore it because it makes a better, not a better story, but it just makes a more impactful kind of scenario that, you know, wow, you know, fantastic footballer has problems. Well, they all do, mate. You know, they all do.
Just really quickly, is this also all good?
Yeah, he's not available for this weekend. Did train with us yesterday, but we're kind of probably give him another week. But hopefully should be available for next week.
Matt.
George.
Ange, I'm going to ask a question about you. You'll see why I've made that mistake. Apologies. The last Spurs manager to win the Manager of the Month.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Also in August. He was sacked in November.
Yeah.
Are you aware of how things quickly can change? And also, do you feel like you're in a honeymoon period? Because you've got like everyone saying they love you, Spider-Man saying they love you, Gareth Bale saying he wanted to play for you, Bobby Williams is singing songs about you.
Yeah.
I mean, you must feel on top of the world. But
Yeah. I don't know what are you married? Yeah, I don't know what your honeymoon was like, but mine didn't have me losing the greatest player in the history of this football club in the eve of a transfer window, me trying to scramble to get players into the club, fighting for everything I do, mate. That's not what my honeymoon. My honeymoon was very relaxed and stress-free and very enjoyable. And I'm well aware after 28 years of the pitfalls of management, mate. Trust me. I've gone into this with my eyes wide open. So if you think that I'm kind of floating along thinking that everything's going to be smooth, but at the same time, there's a reason that this is happening, you know. There's a reason. I think people aren't doing it just from the goodness of their heart. They're obviously encouraged by what they see. And I'm not going to dismiss that because that's what we're trying to do, create a football club that, you know, the supporters are excited about, that other people are talking about. So, you know, I'm not, I take that as encouragement to keep going down this way. So, but, you know, I don't, at the same time, you know, I don't sit here and think that this has come to me and been served on a platter. We've worked hard, mate. Yeah, worked really hard. It's been a really tough period. Nothing like my honeymoon.
Where did you go on your honeymoon?
We did a nice trip of Europe, the usual places, a bit of Paris, a bit of Venice, a bit of Athens. My wife lost her luggage, which meant she had to obviously go and replace that, and then the luggage turned up anyway, so it cost me a fortune, but it was wonderful. A long time ago.
How do you not have a pecking order with your goalkeepers when you can only pick one, there's usually one on the bench? Does that not become a pecking order?
Well, I mean, but then you're saying that never changes. Like, that can change. It won't change if people are performing, of course, but nothing's cast in stone. Nothing's, I don't go in there and say, well, here's my first 11 and that's it for the rest of the year unless something happens. It's like every week, every day there's a challenge for them to constantly be at their best, or else somebody will take their place. So I just don't think that's the way you kind of set up a team environment to say that this is going to be cast in stone for the rest of the time. Things change all the time. What if we get an injury tomorrow?
Even with keepers.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, of course. Why not? I mean, Vic's earned the right to be number one. His performances have been outstanding. So if he continues in that manner and keeps pushing, and I think having Fraser there and now Hugo there, and he's going to be making sure that, every day, I mean, Fraser's been outstanding. Like training, he's been unbelievable in the way he's been training, and he was unlucky in the Fulham game. He had a good game there as well. So that's what I want, everyone, because that's what they want. They want to be pushed every day to be the best they can be.
Tom?
There was a lovely moment at the fans forum at the very end when, as a young lad, got his question answered. Got a lot of attention on social media, and rightly so. You're even getting Arsenal fans saying on social media, "I hate Spurs, but I really like Ange." It's been a great few months. I know this is just one game, but I just want to get your view on how you've been in the first few months in England and how much you've enjoyed it.
Yeah, look, I've enjoyed it because I enjoy what I do, and it's just I'm just trying to be who I have been my whole life, and with the forum, it was just a young man who was dying to ask a question, mate. That's what we were there, and I didn't think one extra question was going to be anything too significant to anyone else but to that young man. So felt right to do it, and did it, and that's fine. I mean, I don't think there's a famous college coach who once said, never be proud about doing the right thing, just do it. So it's there's always life lessons for all of us, no matter how old you are, about the way we conduct ourselves. But I've enjoyed so far. It's been a great challenge, and many challenges to come. I said, I've got a group of coaches that I talk to on a regular basis from other codes, and a couple of them going through a difficult period, and we all decided that, as a coach, you're either going through a difficult period or it's coming up. So that's your constant way of being, but I enjoy it, mate. Thank you.
Last one from me. There's another big game for you this weekend, Carlton playing tomorrow morning. Are you going to get up and watch that, and how much are you looking forward to that? Absolutely, mate. Go the Blues. They've had a great year, and we've had a lot of time without success. Good luck to the Blues, Mickey, Michael Voss, and Cripsy and the boys. I don't want to be a section, James, please.
Hi, Ange.
No one knows what I was talking about there. It's fine. Yeah, thanks, mate.
Do you think you and Mikel are at all similar? You seem to have quite similar sporting philosophies. You like to play attacking football. Did you keep in touch with him after that meeting? Would you say that you were close at all? Or?
No, and it wasn't a meeting. I didn't speak to anyone, mate. I kind of just sat and observed, and no, we're not close. And I mean, the football world's a funny one, because I think there's an assumption that we got all this spare time to hang around with one another and talk to opposition coaches, and it's not what exists. In terms of similarities, I'm 58. He's whatever. I've had 26 years. He's 5 years into it. He's managed in one country. I've managed in a few. I'm not sure. He's got a great head of hair. He's a lot fitter than I am. I don't know, mate. There's not many threads there I can sort of join between us. Yeah. Well, I wouldn't say opposites. We're people, mate. We're all different, And even the way his team plays is, yes, he does have an attacking philosophy, but it's different from mine, and that's the beauty of the game. That's what you love about it. That even teams and people you kind of think have a similar philosophy. There's always those tweaks, and it's why you can't copy. You know, it's why I keep saying when people say, well, you know, it's like, you know, if you're an artist and you see a Picasso, yeah, you can copy it, but it's not going to be a Picasso, is it? It's the same with football. You can try and see that somebody else does something really well and try, but you don't bring your own personality into it. And you know, as I said, I've got a great admiration for the way he's gone about things and the way he's stuck to his beliefs. I think it's a credit to him.
I know you were a Liverpool fan growing up. You've ripped the posters down now, you said. But born in Greece and growing up in Melbourne, why Liverpool? Why did you choose Liverpool?
Well, you know, it was the 70s, so, you know, you kind of went one or two ways. Seemed that they only used to show Liverpool or Man U at the time, so, you know, a couple of my best mates went for Man U, so I went the other way so that we could keep it interesting. And, yeah, look, I like any kid, I had the posters up on my wall, and you know, Liverpool was my team. And but you know, you grow up and things change. You know, I used to love Happy Days back there too, but you know, I don't have posters of Fonzie on my wall either. So you know, it's just the way life is.
Just finally, quite a few of the players here have recently described you as a dad to them. Do you like them describing you as a dad?
Yeah, I don't know what that means. It's probably a reference to the way that I dress or the way I conduct myself. I don't know what that means. Look, I think we, in our role, you know, we provide sort of, you know, support in any way we can for the players. They're the most important people, and you know, some of that is guidance. I am older. I've had more life experience, and you know, whatever I can pass on about the mistakes I've made and the things I've learned in life, apart from football, then you try and do that. And ultimately, it's about guiding them, you know, to try and sort of be the best they can be. And you know, I don't know what sort of you know, point of reference they refer to, but if it's, you know, me sort of being a little bit of a guide to them in all aspects of life, then I'll try and do that. Like I said, I have the benefit of experience, you know, and that the mistakes I've made, as I said, and all the things I've learned. I guess it's upon every generation to pass them on to the next one, and hopefully they make everything a better place.
Thanks. Good luck tomorrow.
Thank you.
That's George, please.
Angelo, as someone who had a fantasy football team last season, should I put James Maddison in my football team tomorrow?
No, you can do whatever you like. Zero interest to me.
You're not biting on that one, fair enough.
I know you don't want to talk about Fonz again, but you could go top of the league this weekend.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Something to be happy about, right?
Oh, wow. Firstly, can I say what a gentleman Henry Winkler is. He sent me a message, and that's truly chuffed by that, because you know, I think I said during the week, sometimes you get disappointed when you mention your heroes, but yeah, what a great gentleman. And if he does send me a poster signed, I will definitely put it on my wall, despite the protestations of my wife. But yeah, look, if we win, we go top of the table for what, 24 hours, but who cares, mate? We've got to win. We've got to win. It's a tough game. Tomorrow, our focus got to be on putting on a performance and playing at our best, because if we don't, then it won't matter where we're sitting on the competition ladder. It'll be you know, us focusing on a poor performance.
The microphone, Matt.
Hello, Ange. Jurgen Klopp did say that as a football person, not as a Liverpool manager, that he would like a replay of the game. Where do you stand on that?
Yeah, I mean, I think Jurgen's kind of said that maybe that was taken a little bit out of context. Look, my view is when you're talking about a replay, you're talking of, there's got to be some sort of threshold, and I don't think a mistake is a threshold for that, irrespective of the consequences. So I think, you know, if we're straying into integrity or misappropriation of the law, then you kind of maybe have a case to say, well, you know what, there's something there, but ultimately, when you strip it all back, it was a mistake. That's what it was. It was a unique mistake. It was, I think people have used an unprecedented mistake, yes, I agree with that, but it was still a mistake. So if your threshold for replays are mistakes by individuals, that's 365 games a year, I reckon.
And can I just ask you, you said after the game that you're not a big fan of VAR and never have been. Would you make any case for getting rid of it?
I would in its current form. I just don't think that technology is ready for our game. You know, I mean, I've got nothing wrong, I've got absolutely zero against goal line technology. It's such a no-brainer, you know, because that's quite significant, but it works for our game. I just think our game is unique. And I know people say, well, let's get referees explaining their decisions. Oh my God, seriously. Could you imagine sitting there listening to a referee explain every decision on the game? I mean, I'm going to the Gridiron on Sunday and I love it. I love American football. It's 3.5 hours, mate. Do you want to sit through 3.5 hours of listening? I mean, referees, the measure of always of who was a good referee was the ones you never noticed. And now we're trying to make them the stars of the show, you know. We're analysing in slow motion yellow cards. And like I said, like we as coaches and players, we're the worst culprits for it because we talk about, you know, integrity and all these things, and yet I guarantee you, watch a game of football tonight, any game, the first throw in, I bet you both teams appeal for it, with one knowing it's not theirs. Yeah? And if you get it, you don't go, well, actually, it wasn't ours, it's theirs, give it to them. You know? So it's just human beings. We're trying to take advantage. There's nothing wrong with that, you know. We're trying to work within the framework of what we're given. But I just think with VAR at the moment, I said it last week, we think it's going to eliminate, and the more we use it, I think the worse it's going to get. It was there for, what was the term? The clear and obvious error. It seems like everything now, like I said, yellow cards, fouls, corners, everything's getting scrutinised with that. And it's not our game. We're not rugby. We don't have those stoppages. The beauty of our game, what I always loved about, particularly England, was the frenetic pace of football. That's what everyone kept saying. Premier League, the English First Division, that was the difference between some other leagues where you go, so slow and ponderous and drives you nuts. Not the English League, it's bang, bang. Why are we trying to take that out? Now, I think part of the consequence of last week was that none of us liked it when they were taking so long for a decision. And I felt last week it sounded like they were rushing it to a decision, so maybe that's a consequence of... So that suggests to me that I don't think the technology in its current form is suitable to our game. But I know that I'll be in a minority of that, and I guess my role within that is to try and sort of accept that, you know, whatever my feelings are, and ultimately there's still going to be an arbiter of decisions, and we have to abide by wherever they come about.